In the annals of digital entrepreneurship, few stories are as compelling and improbable as that of Jimmy Donaldson, better known to the world as MrBeast. This is not merely the tale of a YouTube creator who struck it rich, but the untold story of a sick, obsessed child who transformed his deepest struggles into the world's most successful content empire. Behind the billion-dollar valuation and 400+ million subscribers lies a narrative of psychological warfare, systematic obsession, and strategic brilliance that would make even the most seasoned business moguls question their own dedication. The year was 2010, and while most 11-year-olds were playing video games or collecting Pokemon cards, Jimmy Donaldson was experiencing something that would forever alter the trajectory of his life. Sitting in his modest bedroom in Greenville, North Carolina, battling chronic inflammation in his digestive system that would later be diagnosed as Crohn's disease, Jimmy uploaded his first video to a platform that was barely 5 years old. What happened next wasn't instant fame or viral success. It was the beginning of an 8-year obsession that would make him the youngest person to ever build a billion-dollar media empire. The untold truth about MrBeast's origin story isn't about luck or algorithmic favoritism. It's about a young boy who found in YouTube not just entertainment, but salvation from a life that seemed to be falling apart around him. Jimmy's early years were marked by frequent family relocations, chronic illness, and a social awkwardness that made traditional childhood milestones nearly impossible. His mother, Sue, would later attribute his withdrawn lifestyle to their constant moving and his ongoing health struggles. But what she didn't realize at the time was that her son was channeling his isolation into something unprecedented. From 2010 to 2017, Jimmy operated in what he now calls his laboratory years. While other teenagers were dating, going to parties, and enjoying typical adolescent experiences, Jimmy was conducting the most comprehensive study of digital content creation ever undertaken by a single individual. He wasn't just making videos, he was deconstructing the very DNA of viral content, frame by frame, algorithm by algorithm. Every night, he would fall asleep disappointed, knowing his videos weren't good enough, but with an unwavering belief that if he just worked longer and studied harder, eventually it would all click. The breakthrough came in 2015 at age 17, when Jimmy's Crohn's disease reached a critical point. He had lost significant weight, his energy was depleted, and he was forced to quit baseball, the only activity besides YouTube that he truly loved. During those dark months of trying to find the right medical treatment, Jimmy made a decision that would seem reckless to most parents but revolutionary in hindsight. He decided to go all in on YouTube, abandoning traditional academic pursuits and social expectations to pursue what most people considered a hobby. What sets Jimmy apart from every other content creator isn't just his work ethic. It's his systematic approach to understanding human psychology through the lens of digital engagement. For over 1,000 consecutive days, Jimmy and 3 other aspiring YouTubers would connect via Skype to dissect the platform's recommendation algorithm. They studied everything: the optimal brightness levels for thumbnails, the precise timing of angle cuts in video openings, the mathematical relationship between posting frequency and audience retention. This wasn't casual observation, it was scientific methodology applied to entertainment. The first viral breakthrough came in January 2017 with a video that epitomized Jimmy's approach to content creation, counting to 100,000. The concept was absurdly simple yet devastatingly effective. Jimmy sat in front of a camera for 40 hours straight, counting from 1 to 100,000. The video wasn't just about the number. It was about proving that he would do something so monumentally difficult and boring that people would have no choice but to watch out of sheer fascination with human endurance. But the real genius revealed itself in June 2017, when Jimmy published his first major philanthropic video, giving $10,000 to a homeless person. This wasn't just generosity, it was the birth of a revolutionary business model. Jimmy had negotiated with a brand sponsor to increase their offered fee from $5,000 to $10,000, specifically to create a more impactful video title. The resulting engagement was explosive, and Jimmy realized he had cracked what he calls the philanthropy code, using brand money to fund massive giveaways that generate viral content, which in turn attracts more brand partnerships, creating a perpetual cycle of giving and growing. The untold story of MrBeast's team reveals another layer of strategic brilliance. While most entrepreneurs hire employees, Jimmy cultivated disciples. His childhood friend Chris Tyson became his first subscriber and remained his closest collaborator. When Jimmy needed editors, he didn't post job listings. He found people who were already obsessed with his content and converted them into team members. The legendary perfectionism that drives some employees away is the same force that attracts others who share his vision of creating the impossible. The business empire that emerged from Jimmy's bedroom studio is a masterclass in reinvestment strategy. While his contemporaries were buying mansions and luxury cars, Jimmy was pouring every dollar back into content production. His monthly production budget grew from hundreds of dollars to millions, but his personal lifestyle remained remarkably modest. He lived in the same small house until security concerns forced him to relocate, proving that his motivation was never about personal wealth but about building something unprecedented. The mathematical precision behind MrBeast's content strategy reveals the depth of his obsession. He discovered that the first 15 seconds of a video determine its viral potential, leading to a systematic approach where multiple story arcs, character introductions, and tension builders are compressed into those crucial opening moments. His team developed what they internally call the retention formula, a mathematical model that predicts audience engagement based on variables like visual stimulation frequency, narrative complexity, and emotional trigger timing. Perhaps the most untold aspect of Jimmy's story is his approach to failure. Industry insiders reveal that approximately 25% of MrBeast videos are completely scrapped after filming, regardless of production costs. Videos costing hundreds of thousands of dollars are discarded if they don't meet Jimmy's retention standards. This isn't wasteful perfectionism. It's strategic quality control that ensures every published video maintains the MrBeast brand promise of unprecedented entertainment value. The expansion into multiple business verticals demonstrates Jimmy's understanding that content creation is just the foundation of a larger media empire. MrBeast Burger, launched in December 2020, generated over $100 million in revenue within its first year by leveraging ghost kitchen technology and his massive audience. Feastables, his chocolate brand, incorporates gamification elements that turn every purchase into a potential life-changing experience for customers. These aren't side businesses, they're strategic extensions of his content ecosystem. The international expansion strategy reveals another layer of Jimmy's systematic approach to global domination. Rather than simply translating his content, he hired native speakers from major markets to revoice his videos, ensuring cultural authenticity while maintaining his signature style. His Spanish-language channel gained over 20 million subscribers in less than 2 years, proving that his formula translates across cultural boundaries. The untold financial structure of MrBeast's empire is equally fascinating. While his businesses generated $473 million in revenue in 2024, Jimmy maintains that he's a billionaire on paper but has under $1 million in the bank. This isn't financial mismanagement, it's strategic reinvestment. Every dollar earned is immediately allocated to future content production, business expansion, or philanthropic initiatives. This approach has created a self-sustaining growth machine that operates more like a venture capital fund than a traditional media company. The psychological profile of Jimmy Donaldson reveals traits typically associated with the most successful entrepreneurs in history. His resistance to immediate gratification, his ability to maintain focus on long-term objectives while managing countless short-term variables, and his capacity to inspire obsessive dedication in others are characteristics shared by figures like Elon Musk and Steve Jobs. The difference is that Jimmy applied these traits to an entirely new medium, creating blueprints for success that didn't exist before. The data-driven approach to content creation that Jimmy pioneered has become the gold standard for digital media companies. His team analyzes thousands of variables for each video: audience demographics, viewing patterns, engagement rates, conversion metrics, and social media amplification factors. They use this data not just to optimize individual videos but to predict trends, identify emerging opportunities, and develop new content categories before competitors recognize them. The philanthropic dimension of Jimmy's empire represents perhaps the most innovative aspect of his business model. Beast Philanthropy, his dedicated charity channel, has distributed millions of dollars while simultaneously generating revenue through views and sponsorships. This creates a sustainable model where doing good becomes a profitable enterprise, challenging traditional notions of charitable giving and business success. The untold story of MrBeast's daily routine reveals the discipline behind the seeming chaos of viral content. Jimmy wakes at 8:30 a.m., earlier than most think but later than traditional business moguls, prioritizing sleep for creative energy. His most productive hours, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., are dedicated to content creation, during which he can conceptualize, film, and complete multiple videos. His afternoons focus on business operations, strategic planning, and team coordination. Evenings are reserved for algorithm study, competitor analysis, and creative brainstorming. The competitive moat that Jimmy has built around his empire isn't just about having more resources. It's about having created a systematic approach to viral content that competitors cannot replicate. His understanding of audience psychology, combined with his willingness to invest unprecedented amounts in production value, has created a standard that requires both massive capital and systematic knowledge to match. Most creators who attempt to copy his format fail because they focus on the visible elements while missing the underlying strategic framework. The evolution of Jimmy's content strategy demonstrates his ability to adapt and innovate within his own successful formula. Early videos focused on endurance challenges and personal stunts. The middle period emphasized philanthropy and large-scale giveaways. Current content incorporates elements of game shows, reality television, and social experiments while maintaining the core elements that made him successful. This evolutionary approach has allowed him to stay relevant across multiple algorithm changes and audience shifts. The untold impact of MrBeast's success extends far beyond entertainment. He has single-handedly elevated the perceived value of digital content creation, proving that online media can generate revenues comparable to traditional Hollywood productions. His success has inspired a generation of entrepreneurs to view content creation as a legitimate path to building significant businesses, not just as a hobby or side income. The team culture that Jimmy has created represents a unique blend of startup energy and media production professionalism. His employees describe an environment where every decision is data-driven, every project has clear success metrics, and every team member is expected to contribute ideas for improving retention and engagement. This culture has produced some of the most innovative content concepts in digital media while maintaining the rapid iteration speed necessary for platform success. The strategic partnerships that Jimmy has developed reveal his understanding that content creation is just one component of a larger business ecosystem. His relationships with brands, platforms, and other creators are carefully cultivated to create mutually beneficial outcomes that amplify his reach while providing value to partners. These partnerships have enabled him to execute increasingly ambitious projects while maintaining the financial sustainability necessary for long-term growth. The technology infrastructure behind MrBeast's empire includes sophisticated analytics platforms, custom content management systems, and proprietary tools for audience analysis and engagement prediction. His team has developed internal software that tracks performance metrics across all platforms, identifies trending topics before they become mainstream, and optimizes content distribution for maximum impact. This technological edge provides a significant competitive advantage in an increasingly crowded digital landscape. The untold story of Jimmy's personal sacrifices reveals the true cost of building an empire. While his public persona suggests effortless success, the reality includes years of social isolation, health challenges related to stress and overwork, and the constant pressure of maintaining impossible standards. His gambling habit, which he openly discusses, represents both a character flaw and a strategic mindset, the willingness to bet everything on uncertain outcomes because the potential rewards justify the risks. The long-term vision that drives Jimmy's decisions extends far beyond YouTube or even digital media. He has spoken about his goal of becoming the biggest celebrity on the planet within 10 years, a prediction that seems increasingly realistic given his current trajectory. His businesses are being structured to operate independently of his personal involvement, creating a media empire that could continue growing even if he stepped away from day-to-day operations. The psychological impact of Jimmy's success on his competitors and the broader creator economy cannot be overstated. He has raised the bar for what constitutes successful content to levels that most creators cannot match, creating a new tier of elite content creators while simultaneously inspiring millions to pursue their own creative ambitions. His influence has changed how brands approach influencer partnerships, how platforms design their algorithms, and how audiences consume digital entertainment. The untold financial mechanics of Jimmy's giving strategy reveal sophisticated planning that maximizes both charitable impact and business benefits. His giveaways are structured to provide maximum tax advantages while generating optimal content value and audience engagement. This approach has created a sustainable model for large-scale philanthropy that other wealthy individuals are beginning to emulate. The global expansion strategy that Jimmy is currently executing represents the next phase of his empire building. Beyond translated content, he is developing region-specific business ventures, forming partnerships with local creators and brands, and adapting his philanthropic model to address region-specific needs. This expansion could potentially make him the first truly global digital media mogul. The untold story of MrBeast's success ultimately reveals that what appears to be entertainment is actually a sophisticated business operation built on systematic innovation, strategic thinking, and unprecedented dedication. Jimmy Donaldson didn't just become successful on YouTube, he created an entirely new category of media business that combines entertainment, philanthropy, and entrepreneurship in ways that had never been attempted before. The future trajectory of Jimmy's empire suggests that his most significant achievements may still be ahead. With his systematic approach to business building, his track record of successful ventures, and his ability to identify and capitalize on emerging opportunities, he is positioned to become one of the most influential business leaders of his generation. The untold story of MrBeast isn't just about past success. It's about the systematic creation of a media empire that will likely influence entertainment, business, and philanthropy for decades to come. As Jimmy continues to push the boundaries of what's possible in digital media, his story serves as both inspiration and cautionary tale. The level of obsession, sacrifice, and strategic thinking required to achieve his success is extraordinary. But so are the rewards, both financial and in terms of impact on millions of people worldwide. The untold story of MrBeast is ultimately a story about the power of systematic obsession applied to emerging opportunities, and how one person's inability to accept mediocrity can create something truly unprecedented in the history of human entertainment. The legacy that Jimmy is building extends far beyond his personal achievements. He has created a new model for business success in the digital age, demonstrated the potential for content creators to build massive enterprises, and shown how entertainment and philanthropy can be combined to create positive impact at scale. His story will likely be studied in business schools for generations as an example of how to identify emerging opportunities, develop systematic approaches to competition, and build sustainable enterprises in rapidly evolving markets.